On behalf of the Aliyah Return Center, I'm your host, Chaim Mailspin, and I'm here at the historic and prophetic Sea of Galilee.
I just love when it rains. Smells so good. Aliyah News. Economic problems in Russia felt by the Jewish community. Reports out of Russia indicate that the economic slump which has hit the country of Russia since the beginning of the war in Ukraine in February has taken a heavy toll on household incomes, as large numbers of workers have been furloughed and many small and medium-sized businesses have closed. A report published this week by the polling firm VTSIOM included statistics showing solid majority of respondents having already burned through whatever savings they had before the downturn of the economy in Russia started. Many more people are living on very, very, very tight budgets, barely meeting their expense per month, sinking further and further and further into debt on a daily basis. Economists are predicting that the Russian economy could contract by as much as 10% by the end of the year due to the war in Ukraine and by the economic sanctions imposed on Russia by many Western governments and corporations. Additionally, disruptions to the economy are being caused by the military mobilization of hundreds of thousands of working-age men and hundreds of thousands more that are fleeing the country, possibly to avoid being drafted into the Russian army. Other hardships are being felt by ordinary Russians include like lingering fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as decrease in the availability. Other hardships being felt by ordinary Russians include the lingering fallout from COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the decrease in the availability of many consumer goods due to sanctions, as well as decreased domestic production. Many factories have shifted to producing military equipment and weapons for the war front. Russia's Jewish community has not been spared from this conundrum, as anecdotal reports indicate that many Jewish citizens of Russia have thought to emigrate, like leave, due to the difficult financial conditions. Now, the British Jews nervously watch as continuing political instability happens in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom's social and political instability has been a source of rising concern for British Jews. On Monday, you have this 42-year-old economist, Rishi Sunak, replaces Liz Truss as Prime Minister of the UK after she stepped aside after 44 days only. Sunak, new Prime Minister of the UK, now faces a task of forming a government and must first unite his own Conservative Party. A task former Prime Minister Boris Johnson dropped out of the race for in his premiership because he didn't think he could accomplish the task. Google makes a big bet on Israel's future. International technology giant Google announced this week that they are launching a project to build a new academy in Israel named the School of High Tech to train the next generation of programmers, software engineers, entrepreneurs, data analysts. The current plans are for classes to be offered at the Google campus in Tel Aviv and at Reichman University, that's my university in Herzliya, although there are many plans to open satellite campuses in other parts of the country. So what does all this mean? Even as economic contraction, political instability, and general chaos continues to make life in countries with large Jewish populations more unpredictable, uncertain, large international corporations continue at this time to invest in Israel because they believe that this is the hope, that there is hope for economic prosperity there is hope for economic prosperity to continue in the Jewish state. Despite Israel's own domestic political woes, the fundamentals of a healthy society are considered sound enough to justify a massive investment in Israel's future. An increasingly large number of Jews in Russia, UK, France, Canada, even the USA are watching, situations deteriorate at the same time as many things seem to get better in Israel. The inevitable conclusion is that many are coming to it's time for Aliyah. The Aliyah Return Center was founded for such a time as this to bring the Jewish people back to our ancestral homeland, and in numbers that make it imperative for every public and private sector to do everything they can to make this transition, to absorb them. All right? We are excited to look forward to this future and to be part of this historic ingathering of the exiles as promised in the Bible. But we can't do it without your help. So please give generously to the work of the Aliyah Return Center so we can continue this vitally important work, as we believe the time is now to step it up.
Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to keeping you posted as to the latest developments that relate to Aliyah and return and restoration. God bless you from the land of Israel.